Hi everyone, it's Talk About Art Day. So last week we talked about paper airplanes. If you haven't watched the video that we watched, go ahead and go back to last week, watch the video, make a paper airplane, and then come back here and let's do some origami together. I know paper airplanes might seem silly, but I wanted you guys to know that you already know how to do origami. We're just gonna step it up and maybe do something a little bit more traditional today, a paper crane. And a paper crane is very, very, very important, and I will tell you all about it. There's a young lady, and here she is. Her name, Sadako Sasaki, was just 2 years old when the world's first atomic bomb fell on her hometown of Hiroshima. She lived about a mile away. Somehow, she survived, seemingly unharmed. But what her family did not know is that the radiation was going to build up in her body. By the time she was 11, she was diagnosed with leukemia. And at this point, leukemia was considered or called the atomic bomb disease because it was affecting so many people for decades after the initial bomb. And she was put in the hospital. While she was in the hospital, her roommate, who was also a young woman who was affected by leukemia from the bomb, her roommate told her about the crane, about the powers of the crane. In Japan, a crane is a very mystical animal and is thought to live up to 1,000 years. Because of this, they bring good luck and long life. And anyone who folds 1,000 paper cranes within a year will be granted a wish. I think it's a very beautiful tradition. I think I might start doing it right now because I think we could use a couple wishes. But I thought we could do it together, right? 1,000 paper cranes by myself is kind of tricky. But if each of my students makes 5 cranes and makes a wish on those cranes, then together we will easily make 1,000. I can do a couple extra just in case we don't quite get there. But I think together, I think right now is a really great time to make a wish. Okay. Making all these cranes might be a little tricky, especially if you don't have origami paper like I do. This is an issue that Sadako faced herself. In the hospital, she didn't have access to any origami paper, but she got very creative, right? She started taking the wrapper from her medicine bottles, any candy wrappers. She was using leftover gift wrapped paper or get well notes. She collected them all from around the hospital and then started folding it. So none of the paper she used was perfectly beautiful origami paper. I've had students use gum wrappers, so get creative with the paper that you have. Just because we don't have access to supplies does not mean we can't make beautiful work. Sadako not only folded her goal of 1,000, but she kept making some. She made 300 more than her goal, and that's pretty impressive. And with each one she folded, she wished to get well. Unfortunately, she, at the age of 12, passed away. Her hope was not just for herself. She also wished that she would be able to attain peace and healing for all of the victims of the world. So at 12 years old, she was wishing for something more than herself. And that's what I want us to do. I want us to think about our neighbors, and I want us to make wishes in each one of the cranes that is a little bit maybe bigger than the house that you're in right now. I know we're confined to our homes, but I want us to think a little larger. And I think together with 1,000 wishes that we make, that we can make some pretty cool stuff. That all being said, Sadako, she died very young, but she left behind a legacy. The students, her classmates and her friends and families began to raise money to build a monument in her honor and in the honors of the victims of the bombing. And here it is. It's beautiful. At the base, there is a plaque that says, "This is our cry, this is our prayer, peace in the world." This was a beautiful monument to honor such a powerful young lady. But the one I want to talk about today is actually in Seattle. It's in Seattle Peace Park. It was unveiled in 1990. And I think it's really beautiful. It's a life-size statue of her, and it's something different than we see mostly in museums, because in museums, we can't go up and touch the work, but this is a monument. We can interact with it more easily. And that's a good and sometimes a bad thing, because unfortunately it was vandalized twice, once in 2002 and once in 2012. And both times they needed to be, the statue needed to be taken down, repaired, and then put back up. So not everyone was ready for peace. And that's unfortunate, but I know that we are. Something beautiful about this statue is every year on August 6th, we celebrate Sadako Peace Day. And during this time, school children from around the Seattle area fold thousands of paper cranes and drape them along this statue. So it changes it. It becomes interactive in a positive way, not just a negative way with the vandalism. I want you to start thinking about, what would you do with 1,000 paper cranes? You wouldn't just throw them away. Where would you put them? How would you use them to decorate? How could you make them into an artwork? I have 1,000 paper cranes currently at my house, and I'm going to make something out of them, and I would like your feedback. How should I rearrange them? So after this video, I want you to watch the tutorial that I've made of making an origami crane. I would like you to use whatever paper you can find. If you don't have origami paper, that's fine. Old math homework, gum wrappers, Post-it notes, anything you want. It has to be square, and I show you how to do that in the other video. And let's start making it. I would also like you to write a wish on the back. Anything you want, write a wish, and then turn it into a beautiful crane. Okay? And with everyone's help, we can make over 1,000. And I think that's really positive hope, right? A little bit of hope right now will go a long way. So yeah, post it. I'll have a spot where you can post pictures of your cranes. Your first couple ones will probably be a little sloppy, and that's okay. Hopefully by the 5th one you get a hang of it. And I'll start posting a whole bunch more stuff for you guys to get going. So thank you. I hope you guys are well, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye guys.